typically logs like this are not something you want to run through a sawmill.
They're not highly desirable now.
I'd say it's heavy. What do you suppose that big red X means, Dad? My guess is they know there's spiles in it. The hydraulically driven sawmill will run through this no problem until it hits a piece of metal. So this one's going to be Nate and Dave powered. Kind of looks like a maple leaf in the center, doesn't it? I don't have on the other side. I don't have my boss up.
It'd be a good idea.
Okay. Yes. I've been waiting to do that a long time. So the reason I originally bought a sawmill was a terrible idea. During 2021, it was hard to get raw materials. It was hard to get glass. It was hard to get cardboard. It was hard to get everything. In fact, our pallet supplier went out of business, and we had recently signed a large contract that was new to us, and we weren't going to miss any orders. So I decided to make my own pallets. And it wasn't long after that that Fred had found pallets that are a much better deal than what I can make. So we figured with just the wood that falls down on the farm, on our lines, just maintaining this property, there is plenty of pallets. There's plenty of board feet to produce pallets. So that was the original idea. And I thought, well, if we're gonna make pallets, what's cool is I can start sawing up some tap stained maple or tap hole maple or whatever people call it. We call it tap stained up here in Northeast Ohio. And essentially it's lumber that the sawmill doesn't want. They don't want to hit a spile. I got a spile right here. This is actually a newer metal spile, but sometimes at the end of the maple season, maple farmers are tired and, we miss them. We forget to pull them, or we'll pull the bucket off. And what happens is over time, these get, actually the tree will surround these and you'll never find them. Tap stained maple is unique to a maple farmer. And if I hit one of these, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be excited to ruin a saw blade. And that's just counterintuitive. It's kind of like when you enter your bourbon barrel aged maple syrup into the International Maple Syrup Contest and they reject it for off flavor. Well, I'm going to frame that baby. I did frame that baby. And I'm proud of it. So it's the same here. When I hit one of these spiles with a saw blade, I'm going to celebrate. That sucks. I'm gonna go get the tractor like I should have at the beginning. So I dropped the log off the sawmill, and now I need to go get the tractor and hope that it's got enough guts to lift it up. I'm pretty sure The tractor can lift it if it's got counterbalance in the back, the ballast in the back. So that's a whole game too. I don't know if I have time to do that, but yeah, let's see if I can get that back up on the sawmill and get another cut before the sun goes down. Okay, here's the deal. We used to use this tractor to load semi-trucks because we built the business here at the sugar house behind us right there, and we used to get semi-trucks up here, and we had to load pallets with the tractor. And this tractor has beet juice in the tires, so they're weighted. And then we took some cement and we filled a drum with the drawbar across it. Hold on, I'll show you. So it's basically a ballast, a counterbalance. So weighted tires, a drum of concrete, and I don't know if this tractor's going to be able to lift that log. It might just laugh at me. This is a Fred and Nate special, where we just took this drawbar there, ran it through this old drum, but this is how we used to load pallets into semis with this tractor. We'd drive down the end of the dirt road here and load semis when they stopped coming up here, you know, winter, whatever. But this four-wheel drive tractor shipped a lot of pallets with this pallet jack setup. So let me see if we can get one end lifted and put a 2x4 under it, and then we'll get another end lifted and get under it and see what happens. That's about all that tractor can handle. She's up in the air. So now I gotta lift and set this up here on this log deck. And I can't damage anything, so I gotta make sure I don't hit this with the forks, because that tractor, it's got a lot of torque with that bucket. So basically want to get it in and then slide it down on. That's my goal. So stick with me. Okay, so here's what we got. Got the log up on here. Log stops are in position. Just need to remember to take those down so I don't hit them. My first cut was on the bottom. It's a little punky right there. Got my log dogs holding it on. So I'm going to take a couple swipes off the top here. There's definitely a tap stain here. I don't know what this is. Not quite sure. It's a pretty color right here. tap stain maple. It's beautiful. All right, so here's the deal. I'm actually hitting that right there. What a pain. So I might, maybe I can chisel that off with my knife. Let's see. You know what? I dropped that through. So I'm just making it so I can, this thing is not gonna move much. It's so heavy. So I'm just sliding this over a little bit. So I can clear it all the way down. So that's the goal. And I'm just gonna slab this sucker. I'm just gonna slab it all the way down.
Oh yeah, this baby's heavy.
Ooh, that's a table there, buddy. This thing's gonna be heavy. Prepared for it. Oh yeah, baby. So this side here is the same. So when I cut it, I just flipped it over to give you the match. Now you can see there's some tap staining here. I have no idea what this is from. Maybe a bark inclusion. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool looking. But this side actually might be neat. Just a bark inclusion. Very pretty. So I am going to leave everything where it sits and come out tomorrow and clean up because I'm done and Jared needs help. So, hey, for those of you that are just joining the channel, hey, welcome. We are Bissell Maple Farm and we are a maple syrup farm. Been in the family for a long time. I'm 6th generation maple syrup producer here in Ohio. Took my dad's hobby and turned it into a business. He says I took all the fun out of it, which, he's sort of right. You know, it's like a real business now. So, back at it to finish up today. Got dark last night. Couldn't quite finish sawing this tap stain maple log up. So now I'm starting to saw logs that most commercial sawyers don't want to mess with. Mostly due to these metal spiles that get left in trees by accident. And they'll ruin your blade. And if you have a hydraulically driven sawmill, these will ruin your day. Yeah, I'm not moving that. Crying out loud. It's a lot heavier than it looks. So now that I'm out of breath from flipping a log up, it doesn't look like much, but that thing's heavy. I'm going to check if I'm square. Looks like I gotta push my top over a little more. Another couple inches, I think. So here's the orientation I have now. I'm gonna try and get to, I'm gonna cut probably some 1-inch all the way down through. And this is the pith, P-I-T-H. I actually want to make a square block here and basically just make a big 6x6. Doesn't have a lot of value and can't really use it for anything with woodworking. So I'm going to just basically make a giant 6x6. And that will be used either for a log bunk to feed the mill. That's likely where it's going to go. Is I'm going to build a log bunk. This is where this tree had been tapped, years prior. And there's probably going to be some additional tap stain where the tree had been tapped on this side. So we'll cut a piece off and then start working our way down to the pith. 1.5 hours of runtime on this maple log. I left a beam here, pretty good sized cant, that I'm going to use for leg supports on my log deck when I build it. So this is going to end up being my log deck. And I think I'm going to use that telephone pole over there, cut it in half, and build something to roll my logs onto the sawmill. So set the logs on the deck with the tractor, and then when I'm ready I can roll the logs onto the sawmill. That's the plan. Got to get my water thing figured out too. I think this thing's sticking. This thing here, any of you know how to fix this. This thing's sticking, which is pushing the water, so I don't like that. I don't know, this whole thing seems wonky. Look at it, like that's what we're using to make the water go. You know, can we do something a little bit more sturdy? So I'm done milling for the day, so I'm going to close my water off because I don't seem to know how this works yet. I'm controlling it up here instead of there where I'm supposed to. Okay, taking the tension off. I don't need any more tension, so I just back the tension off of it so the blade isn't under tension while it's not being used. So I am cleaning up, getting ready to head back home. Benny has a game tonight, so I don't want to miss Benny's baseball game. But we were able to saw up that maple log that I got back in, I think, September, October. So I store my cant hooks in here on the sap tanks. Give me a sec. Smell a little sap that's ripe in here. I blame Austin. So, got that done. Let me show you what we ended up making. Got a few pieces for the flitch pile. Like 4 pieces for a flitch. And then let me turn this around for you. So it's not the greatest now that the sheet metal's on there, but so far I was able to make 4 slabs. That's really a piece of flitch. And then I've got all those planks that I made. That was 4/4. So however many are over there. And I still have this round to deal with. So this round piece here weighs about 125 pounds. That's how I know that this tree is about 120 years old. And I still have this chunk, which is still about 2,000 pounds. That's a ton right there. So we'll cut this up and make something out of it. Coffee tables. Don't know. Well, I'm pretty happy with the results though. So if you're enjoying this channel, enjoying the content, hit that like and subscribe button.